What would you do if someone told you that you couldn't go to school, simply because you used a wheelchair? For Judy Heumann, this wasn't a hypothetical question, it was her reality. Born in 1947 in Brooklyn, New York, Judy contracted polio at just 18 months, and she would use a wheelchair for the rest of her life. Today, we'll explore how Judy Heumann exemplifies shared leadership within the disability rights movement. In the 1950s, disability was rarely understood and even less accommodated. So when Judy Heumann was ready to attend elementary school in Brooklyn, New York, administrators told her she could not enter the building. They said she was a fire hazard, but her parents pushed back. By the late 1960s, Judy Heumann had graduated from college and completed her training to become a teacher. However, when she applied for her teaching license, she was quickly denied. In response, Judy filed a lawsuit titled Heumann versus Board of Education of the City of New York in 1970. After winning her case in Heumann versus Board of Education in 1970, Judy did more than secure her own position. She helped ignite a turning point in disability rights history. One of the most significant moments came in 1977 when activists participated in the Section 504 sit-in, one of the longest nonviolent occupations of a federal building in U.S. history.
At the age of 25, I was told to leave a plane on my return trip to my job here in the U.S. Senate because I was flying without an attendant.
Shared leadership requires followership, meaning people must be willing to both lead and support one another. Leadership becomes a shared process where everybody contributes to the team's success. Johnson describes shared leadership as when team members are fully engaged and willing to influence and guide each other to reach their full potential.
We wanted to be able to mobilize disabled individuals in D.C. to express the feelings of the disabled community around the United States, and that in unity we do have strength, and that we must expand the pie that we're fighting.
Shared leadership develops through structure, support, and trust, and Judy Heumann embodied all three. Shared leadership begins with structure, where there is a clear vision, shared goals, and a strong foundation that brings people together. It also depends on support, creating an environment where everyone feels empowered to contribute, and leadership is encouraged across the group. Equally important, shared leadership requires trust and communication. People must feel comfortable speaking up and taking initiative and supporting one another.
The Section 504 sit-in took place in 1977 after the federal government failed to sign regulations needed to enforce Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act, which prohibited disability discrimination. In response, disability activists occupied federal buildings across the U.S. demanding enforcement. Although Judy Heumann was a visible spokesperson for the San Francisco occupation, the success of the protests did not depend on her alone. Community partners like the Black Panther Party, local churches and restaurants, the Salvation Army, and neighborhood pharmacists helped sustain the occupation, demonstrating deep interdependence across communities and shared leadership in action. Beyond protest, Heumann advanced shared leadership through the independent living movement. At the Center for Independent Living, she ensured individuals with disabilities were not just service recipients, but decision makers actively cultivating leadership within the community and helping expand independent living centers nationwide. She also co-founded the World Institute on Disability along with Ed Roberts and Joan Leon. This was not a solo effort, but collaborative leadership in action, where expertise and influence flowed among co-founders to shape policy and research.
Judith Heumann is widely recognized as a leader in the disability rights movement, but her legacy also demonstrates the power of active followership. Active followership involves supporting collective goals, challenging authority when needed, and contributing to the group's success without depending on formal roles or titles. During the 1977 504 sit-in in San Francisco, Heumann worked alongside fellow activists to organize the demonstration, to coordinate strategy and outreach, and advocate for enforcement of disability rights, and elect a committee to send to Washington, D.C. She did not act as a single leader, but as part of a collective where leadership was shared among many participants. Her contributions helped to support a historic outcome. After 24 days of protest, the Secretary of Health, Joseph Calfino, signed regulations enforcing Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act, prohibiting disability discrimination in federally funded programs. This laid the groundwork for future legislation to be passed, like the Americans with Disability Act. The key takeaway from Judy Heumann is that leadership and followership work together. Through active followership, supporting shared goals, challenging systems, and empowering others, individuals can help drive impactful and transformational change. Her story shows that shared leadership emerges through collective action, not individual authority alone.
We can make a difference. Together, we can speak up for justice. Together, we can help change the world.